Okay.
Hi, this is Geraldine and Eric's behind the camera from Many Roots Farm. Today we're going to do a video that I wish I had access to as I'm learning how to garden, because I'm very new at this. There may be resources like that out there. I haven't found any yet, but just in case. And the real push behind this is I'm getting ready to divide up and replant a hosta. It's a dwarf hosta and it's finished blooming, and one piece is going to my cousin Natalie. So I want to share with her something that I wish I knew. And it's a challenge when you get a pot from, say, a nursery. The roots are going to be growing all in a circle around the pot in a lot of cases. Or they're going to be coming out the bottom of the pot, or both. And that's because commercial facilities super grow their plants. They feed them heavily, they have these optimal grow conditions, and they do that so they get the best looking plant in the world to sell to people. Nobody's going to want a plant that looks like it's just starting out. The key is when you get the plants and you have them, the roots growing in a circle in the pot or coming out the bottom, it doesn't give you a true idea of how do those roots grow in a more natural environment. That's important, because do I get a pot that's shallow and wide, or do I get a pot that's tall and deeper, narrow at the top and more deep? Do the plants produce more roots going downward, or are they like a maple tree will send roots out? I heard someone say a really good description of maple tree roots. They said, think of an upside down umbrella. Whatever you see at the top as far as leaves and branches above ground, it's that and more, but upside down, and that's what your roots look like. Well, a lot of times I get these plants and it's like, oh, this is beautiful, like a marigold or a tomato. I have no idea what those roots are like. Well, with the tomatoes that we have over here, right here, those were going into a garden box, and there's plenty of room, so no big deal there. But with something more ornamental, or something I want to keep in a pot because I'm going to need to bring it in the winter, what size pot do I use? So, Natalie, this is part of what I'm trying to share with you, so that as you grow these hostas, you'll know this ahead of time. It makes it a little easier. Also, tip, when you get to be old lady status like moi here, mix your soil up on a separate day than when you're going to plant, because mixing soil when it gets hot like this, and then going to divide and transplant, not a lot of fun. And I never used to like hats. Believe me, this hat is now my best friend, because it definitely helps. So now I'm going to show you how I mixed up the soil for the plant I'm giving you. Okay, so here's the tub that I'm using to mix up the soil. What I've got in here is good leaf mulch. This is really dry, and hopefully you can see, but it's actually crumbly, and it's just shredded up leaves. Really nice stuff. You can get this from Abernathy Nursery in Purcellville. You can get it from Arlington County. They have leaf mulch piles, but this is good stuff. A few twigs, but mostly leaves. Then I've got what has been sold locally in my area as leaf compost, and it is dirt, basically. That's what it looks like. With it, you get a lot of twigs and sticks and garbage. I actually got one truckload, which had a ton of shredded plastic. It looked like somebody bagged leaves in plastic and shredded the whole thing. It was disgusting. Before you get a truckload of anything, go there, look at the pile, poke around, take a stick with you, poke around in the pile to see what you're getting. The other thing I'm going to add is what was in the pot I was using before, which is some shredded wood and just some other dirt. A lot of people buy a lot of people buy soil or gardens, various types of garden soil, and that's great for them, but yours truly is in the Po folk family, so we make our soil, and your great Uncle Pete is the one who taught me how to do this. Now I'm going to add one more ingredient. I'll show you that in a second, and then mix it up and we'll get this potted up.